On behalf of NT team, I would like to warmly welcome you to today's session. The recurring revenue model for AI training, turn one of workshops into annual enterprises contacts. Before we begin with this session, just a few quick notes. This session is being recorded and the recording will be shared with you all registered participants. And we encourage to ask questions anytime using a Q&A or chat box. We'll have a detailed Q&A segment towards the end. And please stay until the end. We will be sharing the key resources and next steps for the interested partnerships and the certifications enterprises opportunities. It's my pleasure to introduce today's speaker, Bill. And the Bill serves as the Vice President of Strategic Partnership for the North America at ASETS, where he works closely with organizations to help them build scalable AI-driven revenue opportunities through the certifications ecosystems, enterprises partnerships, and go-to-the-market collaborations. He is also a long-time writer and the speaker on the career and innovations, and he is author of two inseparable books. One of the book is The Job Nobody Dreams of, and Inside the Greatest Career You Never Heard of. And the second one creates your own job and innovation strategy for the job applicant. Bill brings unique perspective that sits in interaction of the technology, workforce development, and the business growth, making him perfect person to build today's conversations on how organization can move behind competition and the successful position. Premium AI training programs and they deliver constant value and strong margins. Bill, we're thrilled to have you with us today. Please, the stage is yours now.
All right, thank you. And thank you for everyone for signing up and for those in attendance today. It's a crazy way to start a Monday, right? For those of you in the western half of the United States like me, we jump right into the fray, right? But I appreciate, everyone's time. I do a lot of these webinars. I've been in the training business for over 25 years, and this is it's a unique opportunity. It's really once in a lifetime because of this AI thing. And we're going to, go into more reasons, why. So I think everyone understands what's going on now, right? You can't not go 5 minutes and not hear those two letters, even if you didn't want to. So the pump has kind of been primed. There's so much noise out there about AI. Some of it not true. I would say a bunch of it not true, but there is legit opportunity here because of companies adopting AI. I assume everyone that signed up for this is in the training business somehow. Whether it's a full-fledged IT training company, which is my background, to individuals who you're a coach, you're a trainer. That I've signed up a lot of solopreneurs over the last few months. This opportunity is perfect for entities. I'll say entities because you have individuals and you have companies that have been in business, providing some sort of training over the last, few years. Doesn't matter whether it's IT training, manufacturing training, healthcare training. You have this group of customers that know you, trust you, have spent money with you, and they're all looking for answers to this AI thing. We always share some stats here, but it's just think about this. If you're in a traditional IT training company, these are the conversations that we'll have. It's like, remember when you sold 5-day SQL classes or systems admin classes? They go, oh yeah, the good old days, we made bank. Virtually the entire world doesn't even know what those technologies are, right? The entire world has at least heard of AI. So where those companies might have sent a couple people to a systems admin class or, had a class of 20 people to get trained on the latest Excel. Still not the entire company, right? Entire organizations need to get AI ready. That's the unique proposition today. And it creates this unbelievable opportunity for people in the training business. So where is this money coming from? Obviously, corporate clients are the first place to look at, right? Doesn't matter, is it a manufacturer, is it a healthcare system, is it, it just doesn't matter because the entire company, at the very least, needs to have AI literacy, right? We'll get into more of the courses, what makes this unique, but at the very least, everybody needs AI training, even if it's just literacy. And then you have governments, whether state and local, even national. I know, this is for North America, but we always get people from around the world. And so, example, Texas rolled out a law last year requiring all public employees have to get AI training. The beauty of that, they provided funding for that. I know that I work with the organization in Italy that's in charge of rolling out the Italian AI initiative. Again, there's money tied to that. So, regardless where you are, I don't know of any local entities, with funding, but certainly there's a lot of states. Canada has some initiatives, and then there's other national initiatives around the world. That's the beauty of this, right? Everyone knows that there has to be some AI training, and often there's revenue tied to that. That's pretty awesome. Now, associations is another path. Associations are pretty cool for us, right? Because again, association is made up of people. Every one of those individuals is going, what am I going to do about this AI thing? An association, it's tied to an industry. And so they're wondering, how's our industry going to adopt AI? What are some of the things we need to be concerned about? So if you're an association listening today, great. Thank you for coming. There's lots of things that we can do with you and our partners. If you're training organizations, associations is a place that you ought to be looking at, very quickly, because there's multiple things you can do there. Another idea that's going on with associations is we've done 2 co-developed certifications. The first one is with Cyber Future Foundation. So we have 2 cybersecurity certifications, one for executives, one for the practitioners. Another one that we rolled out last month with the Institute of Internal Auditors, unbelievably successful. And so if you're in the training business, and I assume you are, otherwise you wouldn't be here today or listening to the recording, associations have some really cool plays there. And then you have academia. And academia, there's multiple plays there. It can be that they're going to integrate our courses into the curriculum, right? That is a long process, if you know. But once it's done, it's there. It's hard to, get it out of there. There's other instances where the courses sit on top of the curriculum because that's not as a hard and time-consuming process to get that approved. The 2 quickest ways with academia is alumni, right? Alumni, every single one of those alumni, they're all thinking about this AI thing. So if you're a school or you're a university or you're talking to a school or university, they're always trying to do fundraising, right? What a better way is to get courses sold to their alumni. The other path with academia, not everyone has this, but a lot of them have adult continuing education divisions. And that's a no-brainer, right? Because AI should be at the forefront of any of those offerings. So again, we use some of these, statistics that, but it is true. And if you do any type of your own research or you see the headlines that everyone's thinking about this, there's this big light shining on companies. And there's a lot of there's a lot of anxiety out there. First off is the workforce. And all they see is these headlines. Amazon lays off 16,000 people. Meta lays off 8,000. UPS. They all say it's due to AI, and they're all lying. I hope everyone understands that. Those layoffs are for 2 reasons. One, to appease Wall Street. And if you see that, especially on the public companies, the stock price jumps the moment they announce layoffs. The other thing is, or they're shipping jobs overseas. The truth of the matter is AI is coming for tasks more than it is actually coming for a person's job. AI cannot replace citywide's worth of people today. So that's workforce anxiety. Executives have anxiety because they know, what are we going to do about this AI thing? They have to answer to ownership or a board. And think about this for a moment. You're all in the training business. And so this is, especially with B2B sales. In B2B sales, no one cares about the bells and whistles and features and benefits, regardless of what you're selling. What they are concerned about is peace of mind, because if you buy the wrong TV, you're out a few $100s, a couple $1,000, right? If you make the wrong purchasing decision for your company, especially something that's high profile, is AI training, that could go badly for you. So when companies such as yourselves can go to organizations and talk about, these particular courses, it makes a lot of sense. They want peace of mind that all right, this purchase is not going to harm my job. And when I talk to a lot of HR directors, I do a lot of HR webinars for my partners. That's the logical entry point for this, right? It's not always, IT is a entry point as well for this, but at some point, HR is going to get involved because it's somehow they get, they're handling the training of a workforce. And when we have these webinars, like, look, we know you're stressed about this. We can make you a hero. And that carries a lot of weight. And again, some more reasons of what's going on here. That it is true that, that there is a skill shortage on using AI right, using it responsibly. And, the courses that we offer through our partners makes a lot of sense. So think about this. You could go out and create your own courses, right? Could be the greatest course in the world, but in a matter of months, it's going to need to be updated, right? That's a big thing. The other thing too, you can have a great course, but how do you know it's any good? Here's the other thing too, why we're different. And let's just jump into that. Our courses don't train on AI. AI search courses train on how AI impacts specific job roles with a certification. No one else in the world does that. And why is that important? Because if you're, let's talk about, from the company side of it, that you got to get your entire workforce AI ready. That's not an insignificant investment, right? So yeah, are we buying the right thing? But then also, like, how do we know that, we got a good return on that investment? That wasn't a small amount. First thing, did your people get certified? That's the beauty of the certification. We really consider ourselves a certification org that provides training through our partners. So every course actually starts with a certification exam, and that exam gets developed. A lot of research, a lot of job task analysis. What's you and I would think is really boring stuff, but it creates a legit proctored exam, and from that come the courses. Today, there's 75 courses. The idea to have 200 by the end of the year. And again, the difference is, how does it impact specific job roles? So how does AI impact nurses? How does AI impact project managers? How does AI impact executives? Right? That's the beauty of having role-based. The flow of a course, regardless of whether there's instructor-led or e-learning, is you have a lecture. And at some point in the lecture, it's like, all right, let's go look at some case studies that are relevant to your industry. A little bit later, all right, let's go play with some AI tools that people in your job role are using today. You're not going to become proficient in those tools in a 1 or 5 day class. And then the 1 day class is 6 to 8 hours e-learning, 5 day class, 40 hours e-learning. But you do get your hands dirty with those tools. With the idea is, after the training, you go, you know what? I played around with the, 2, 3, 4 tools during that training. I want to go spend more time at that one. And then on top of that, almost every course, we have an addendum with 10 to 20 other role-specific tools that we've curated. We say, hey, maybe you want to go take a look at those. So that's kind of the layout of our courses. We do that, but once we roll it out, it's not like we don't have to pay attention to that for a year, right? Because it's AI and everybody gets access to, the course content, regardless how you take it, instructor-led or e-learning, you get access to all that for a year. And because it's AI, things are probably going to change, right? We look at everything on a quarterly basis. Might be, add another case study, or we might add another tool to the content. And when that happens, students will get an email say, hey, your course has been updated. So that's a lot of work. A lot of reasons why you shouldn't do that yourself. Just, again, you have the greatest course in the world. In 3 months, you got to go and take a look at it, maybe do some updates, do what you do best, sell the training, let us, create it, keep it updated, keep the exams relevant, and kind of just things that I talked about. We also say, and you look at number 2 there, vendor aligned. We used to say vendor neutral. Now we say vendor aligned. And so what does that mean? So Microsoft, AWS, all the big technology companies, they have their own AI certifications, right? But those certifications are on their technology. We are technology agnostic. That's why we say vendor aligned. So our courses and certifications really fit in nicely with other certifications. The other thing about the exams that's important to know up front, the exams are built into the course. So unlike traditional IT exams where you pay for a course, you go buy an exam voucher, maybe you have to go someplace else to do the exam. Everything is self-contained, and there's 2 shots that are built into the course. You can launch the exam anytime you want. Like I said, it's a legit proctored exam, and people ask at some point, if for some reason you needed a third attempt, then you can buy an exam voucher. The other thing too is why you shouldn't do this yourself. Again, you're already selling, you're delivering, you're taking care of your business. You have this database of customers that you've built up over 2 years, 30 years. Our partnership program is designed to just plug it in and monetize those relationships you already have. Again, it's a unique time in history. Every single one of those people in your database, they're wondering, what am I doing to get myself AI ready? The other thing about the exams for individuals, because we talked about the importance to corporations, is a way to prove that they got a good ROI on their investment. But for individuals, it proves that they're AI ready. Because as you all know, you can learn anything you want today for free on the internet. So you could legit go out and study case studies in your industry. And if you're really smart, you go look at case studies in other industries, because how AI is being used in manufacturing might be able, there's some things in there that could work in retail or finance. And you could go out and you can play with, find AI tools that are job role specific to you. And you got a good idea there. So you're legit AI ready. And this is where I always have my big dramatic pause. I say, prove it. Prove that you're AI ready. That's the beauty of the certification. So when you'll see throughout LinkedIn that people who have passed one of our exams, and make it very easy for you to post that badge on your profile. So kind of again, to summarize, what you shouldn't do is you shouldn't do this yourself. Focus on what you do best, selling training, not designing courses and exams and keeping them updated. More reasons. So today, I think we need to update, that 1400K, 1014. I'm sure it's well over 150,000 learners now. We have an instructor base of over 500 around the world. And so let's talk about instructor-led training for a minute. There's 3 ways instructor-led training can work. You can have your own instructors or yourself get certified. There's no cost to become a certified instructor. You simply do the course for free, take the exam, and then once you pass, you get access to our trainer portal. And then within the trainer portal, there's PowerPoint slides for that deck. There's lecture notes. And just like every course has an AI mentor, and I'll show you the UI here in a minute, but there's also an AI mentor for every course for instructors. So a lot of us came from the instructor-led training business. So we put a big emphasis on resources for trainers. So have your own trainers deliver a class. If you got 1 or 2 people that need a class, you don't have anybody, you can sell into another partner's class and you simply split the revenue 50-50. If you run a public class and you want incremental revenue, partners can sell into your class. The third way is you got a group of people, 5 to 20 people that need AI plus, executive. You don't have someone, rent an instructor from that bench of 500 instructors, and then you keep all the money minus the courseware. So 3 ways for instructor-led training to go. I mentioned, today I think it's 75, 76 certifications. They're in different practice areas. We've been going wide and we continue to go wide, but we're also going deep. And the perfect example of that is healthcare. So last year, we had our anchor course, AI Plus Healthcare. Today, as we go deep, we have doctor, nurse, healthcare administrator, healthcare assistant, pharmacists. We have more coming. And we're doing the same thing with, we've already done the same thing with cybersecurity, but we're doing the same thing with legal, finance. So continue to go wide, continue to go deep on the certifications. And you can see some of the current partners there today. One thing I get asked a lot, and as a salesperson, you miss 100% of the shots that you don't take. There are no exclusivities with us. So if you're in North America, you're headquartered here in North America, there's a good chance that you have customers who have employees that are someplace else around the world, right? So regardless of where you're headquartered, the entire world is open to you. Today, all the courses are in English, Spanish. We have pockets of Arabic, Mandarin, German, and others. We're working on something for Swedish, working on something for Korean. We're waiting for partners to come to us and say, hey, Bill, I got 200 people for AI Plus Nurse for Portuguese. We'd love to have those conversations. We want to have those conversations. So just think about this. Regardless of where you're headquartered, the entire world is really an open, what do they say? A weapons grade. We'll cut that out. So again, kind of to summarize that why to do business with us. The content is fresh. It keeps updated, which in the age of AI is incredibly important. The exams are what sets us apart. How do we know that our workforce is AI ready? How do we know this individual is AI ready? They pass the exam on their job role. And then the stuff that we're going to get into now, the fun stuff for you guys, is all the support that we give to our partners, because again, we sell through partners for the most part. I say most part because can someone go to our website and buy an individual course? Yep. But they can't get enterprise pricing. They can't buy instructor-led training. If they go and try that, they're forced to choose a partner. They cannot get the new thing that we just rolled out, our All Access Pass, which is an all-you-can-eat unlimited e-learning subscription. So we make money when our partners sell courses, and we have just an incredible amount of resources to help you do that. Today, I mentioned 75 courses, so you kind of see a visual there. The majority of them, 65, 70%, are what we call professional. Those are the one-day job role specific courses. Again, 1 day instructor-led, 6-8 hours e-learning. The others are 5-day instructor-led, 40 hours e-learning. For the most part, those are technical courses. Not all, and we're getting some non-technical courses in there, such as we have a 5-day project manager course. We have a 1-day course, and we have a 5-day for project manager. And so those are more mastery, and you'll see some more of those roll out as we go throughout the year. One of the other things too, when people ask, well, what kind of recognition do your certifications have? Project management is a great example. PMI, Project Management Institute, has said repeatedly that our courses qualify for PDUs. We also are on the final legs of being blessed by ANAB-ANSI. If you know that organization, that is a worldwide known accreditation board. Incredibly hard to get their blessing. If you go to their website, you will see Microsoft and Cisco withdrew because it's so hard. But we expect to have final blessing in June. So that will be a big thing. The other thing too is our courses are being qualified for continuing education credit. In the beginning, we did not have completion certificates. The big thing was the certification exam. But now we have rolled out, and by the end of the month, every course will have a completion certificate, which is what you need for continuing education credit. So lots of different things that show the value of our courses and the certification. So there's 4 ways to partner with us. The first, what we call an authorized training partner, and that can be, you're a training company. You're selling Microsoft and Cisco classes. Also means you're a healthcare training company, or you're a manufacturing training company. You could also be an individual. As I mentioned, I've signed a lot of solopreneurs over the last few months. These are individuals that have been in business for quite a while. They're consultants, or they're starting to go out on their own, but they have these contacts that they've built up throughout their career. They do a lot of speaking engagements. All these people know them, trust them. Every single one of those people are thinking about this AI thing. So they become an authorized training partner. The second way, we talked about academia. So whether you're a school, college, university, any type of academia, and I mentioned the 5 ways that that could work. Continuing education for adults, alumni, and then within the curriculum or on top of the curriculum. The third way is you're an association. You have this membership. It could be a couple thousand to, we have an association with 500,000 members that they're all thinking about that. And there's some exciting plays in there. Again, I talked about, possibly doing a co-dev, co-sell certification that we did with Cyber Future Foundation and the Institute of Internal Auditors. But there's other bundles that we can do that, special offers that we can do for your membership. And then the affiliate. The affiliate is one thing that I haven't mentioned yet. So those first 3, authorized training partner, academia, and association, those are what I call full partnerships. As a full partnership, you can sell and deliver instructor-led training, and you can resell the e-learning. An affiliate, you can resell the e-learning. Our affiliate program kind of works like, most affiliate programs. You might have a newsletter or a podcast. Again, you have this database of people, and you just want to simply provide e-learning training to them. There's a couple other plays with affiliates, though, that we've seen recently. First off is someone becomes an affiliate, and they go, all right, this is going pretty good. I want to be able to sell instructor-led training. So then they, move up into a full partnership. The other thing is authorized training partners also become affiliates at the same time. And why is that? Because it gives you instant e-commerce ability. So we see a lot of partners that, for whatever reason, they've never had e-commerce ability on their website. People will see a course and then they contact that training partner either through a form or they call them up or an email, say, hey, I want to take this course. And then they send them a bill. But with e-learning, you can have instant e-commerce through the affiliate program. You can post the entire catalog. You can post a bundle of courses. You can post a single course. And they're doing that just because at some point they want to have e-commerce ability. But this way, the day you sign, you also get the affiliate partner. You can do an email blast. You can have sales the same day that you sign. For those that do have a fully functional website with e-commerce ability, we have integration capability there. We have extensive documentation, and they also have an amazing integration team that can help answer questions and get you over those last few steps to fully integrate our courses into your website. So I mentioned earlier that our partnership program is designed, just plug it in to what you're already doing. You're already selling training, regardless of what it is. Everyone's looking for AI answers. This program is designed, just plug it in, promote it, and start seeing sales. So I mentioned the assets that we have. We have over 700 sales and marketing assets for our partners. Course outlines, executive summaries. Executive summaries are like course outlines on steroids. We have social media kits. We have social media kits designed for different parts of the world. We have co-branded decks. You can put your logo on any of the marketing assets. We can't white label our stuff because it's our IP and you can't white label the exam, but everything else can be co-branded. I love to do webinars with partners. I do webinars every single week. And webinars can go one of 2 ways. It could be Bill talking for 20, 25 minutes, and then we have a Q&A session. The other one is where me and, one of the leaders at the company, president, CEO, whatever, we have a 30-minute conversation just talking about what's going on in the world of AI, why it's important for people to get upskilled. I call those fireside chats. And it's not a one-off. 1 month we do a webinar, the next month we do a fireside chat. So again, our interests are aligned with yours. If you don't sell anything, we don't make any money. So that's why we have so much sales and marketing assets. We have battle cards for the salespeople. I help do sales training. I go on sales calls with partners. I will talk as much or as little as you want. Again, talking more about the promotion. One of the things that we haven't talked about, one of the courses that we have is free, and it's called AI Plus Foundation. So instead of 6, 8 hours e-learning, it's 3, 4 hours e-learning. It's its own course. It has its own certification, but it's free for a couple reasons. First, incredible lead gen for partners. You just carpet bomb everybody. You post, you put it in all your socials. Here is a free AI course. And that then you start marketing those people who signed up for that. People that go through the foundations, they go, this is really cool. They'll see the UI, which we'll talk about here in a minute, because that's another huge selling point for us. The other reason it's free is for philanthropic reasons. So our owner would like to certify 1 billion people over the next 10 years, but at more a smaller level, that there's nonprofits out there, right? And it's a great way to help give back to the community. I mentioned it up front. I wrote a book on sales careers, not how to sell, but why someone should consider a sales career. And so over the years, I've worked with different organizations that have helped people who are incarcerated. You think it's tough finding a job today? Have a 5-year gap in your resume. So we've given out a lot of foundation courses to those organizations. It wasn't the intention, but when you're working and giving, these free courses to nonprofits, every nonprofit has a board member, right? Multiple board members. And those board members work for a company that has 100 people to maybe 10,000 people. And they see that and go, wait, what is this AI stuff? This is kind of cool. I want to hook you up with our HR director. So that free course has multiple uses, and it's a great way to really jumpstart, your partnership. And then you can also mix and match courses, which is a great segue into our new offering. I mentioned earlier the All Access Pass. It's an all-you-can-eat e-learning subscription, only available for enterprise sales. There are minimums, so you can't sell onesie twosies. It is designed to help an organization get everybody AI ready. So instead of pulling up the org chart and saying, all right, Bob needs these 3 courses, Jennifer needs these 3 courses, you give them access to everything, knowing full well no one's going to take all those courses. And when I say all those courses, yeah.
Bill, I'm so sorry to disturb you. I'm so sorry to disturb you, everyone. Well, Bill, we cannot see your screen and your picture.
You can't see?
Yes, the picture is not there, and also we can't see you online.
It says I'm sharing. That's weird. Let me share again. Can you see it now?
Yes, I guess this is a problem for mine, where I can see that audience has
Okay.
said,
Can someone
yeah,
give
it's back now. Yes.
so people can see the screen?
Yes, they can say it. Let's
Okay.
continue. Yeah.
Okay, all good. So the All Access Pass, I mentioned all you can eat. It is designed to sell to corporations. So, and this is a unique proposition again for organizations. So I mentioned earlier, at the very least, everyone needs AI plus literacy, right? So AI plus for everyone. You can make a great case, a very strong case in 2026. People must know how to write good prompts, no longer a nice to have career skill. So AI plus prompting, and then the role specific course. So right there's 3 courses for everyone in that company. And then there's multiple courses for executives, AI plus executives, the R safe course for executive, AI plus governance. So the all you can eat e-learning subscription makes it very easy to give everyone access to everything, and then they can pick their 2, 3 courses that they want to do to completion. But the other thing, and this is the feedback we started getting early on, is it also allows an individual to go, you know what? I did my 3 courses, but there's a couple modules in this course. I don't want to do the whole course, but there's 2 modules in this course that are very interesting to me. So I'm going to do that. And then there's a module in this course that's very interesting to me. So that's one of the other attributes of the All Access Pass. And then kind of along those same lines, it makes it very easy for internal teams to custom design a learning path. The exam kind of comes off the table there when you're putting together a course with 3 modules from here, 3 modules from here, 2 modules from there. But that's the beauty, that you can custom design your own learning path. So we're very excited. We have high hopes for the All Access Pass, and partners should too. So again, kind of summarizing things here, you have multiple ways to make money. You can sell and deliver your own live classes. You can sell into other classes. You can run your class and have partners sell into that. You can have a smoke detector go off during a live webinar. And then multiple ways to sell the e-learning. All kinds of different ways to customize packages for your enterprise customers, for your association customers. And then what sets you apart is job role specific with the certification. Here is our partner portal. That's the big thing. When you become a partner, the first thing after you sign that agreement, you get access to the partner portal. In there, I looked on Friday, we were well over 700 sales and marketing assets. We have a monthly partner meeting, second Tuesday of every month. After that meeting, we put the deck in, we put the recording in. So if you missed it, you can go back and look at that. If you want to see what was shared 3 months ago, you can do that. On the right-hand side is the dashboard where you can see, as you get students enrolled, you can see, how many enrollments did you have this month? You can also go into and say, hey, out of all these people, who hasn't logged in yet? And for those who have logged in, how far along are they in the course? That's very important for your enterprise customers because they're going to ask that information. It's like, great, Bill, we enrolled 250 people into these different courses. Is anyone doing anything? So you can go in and run reports and see, 80% of the people have logged in, on average, they're 20%, through the course. Has anyone attempted the exam yet? How many people have passed the exam? That's all information in there in the partner portal to you. And then I mentioned about the UI. This is the other big thing that probably should put up, front of the deck. We say multi-modality with our content. So there's more than one way to learn. You can watch, you have a live instructor, but after that, 1 or 5 day class is the exact same content as the e-learning people for the rest of the year. So you have a video lecture. So watch, you have the ebook, read. If you're like me, watching the video with the closed captioning on. And we have 2 audio components. We have the traditional audio book, so one voice in your head. And then we have podcasts. Podcasts are incredibly popular today. We also say multi-modality or multi-device, computer, tablet, phone. People are listening to podcasts on their phone while they're working out, walking the dog, doing laundry. Podcasts are far and away the most popular component of learning in every single lesson. So you can see there on the right-hand side, every one of those lessons can be consumed 4 different ways. And then there's also, I mentioned earlier, an AI mentor for each student. So think of it as a homework helper or teaching assistant. So the big takeaways, why we're different: job role specific with a certification, and then multiple ways to learn every single lesson. So how do you get going? You decide, you reach out to me, bill.becker@aicerts.ai. You'll have that contact information in the follow-up email, when we send out the recording. But we have a meeting, you figure out which is the best program to move forward with. You sign the agreement, and then we get to work. Then that's where the fun stuff starts.
Okay.
So that's
Thank
yeah.
Yes.
I will
Yeah.
stop and see if we have any questions.
Yes. Thank you so much, Bill. It's really powerful insights here. And let's wait for a couple of questions from audience. Please leave your Q&A here in a chat box, and Bill happy to help us by answering them.
And you can also reach out direct. Again, bill.becker@aicerts.ai.
Yes, that's interesting. We don't have any questions from the audience.
I think everyone's ready to, keep
Yes.
diving into their Monday.
Yes. Okay.
Well, thank you everyone for
Yeah.
attending. If you're watching the recording, we appreciate you signing up.
Yeah, thank you so much for everyone be a part of this session. The recording of this session will be shared via email. If you would like to explore the partnership opportunities or learn more about the AS SATS programs, feel free to reach out to the team or connect using the links that we will be shared in the chat. And we truly appreciate for taking a time and be with us today. Thank you so much.